Hello, Shane here from ComX. The ComX show. I'm getting used to that name. Dave Dye came up with that name last week, so thanks for that, Dave. So I'm here with Jerome, my co-host.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
And we're here to talk to Tim Stiles and Nicole Kane. First, we're going to bring on Tim Stiles to talk about himself and his Kickstarter that he's got going at the moment. So let's just bring him on board. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Glad to be here.
And I'm just trying to do the technical stuff here. So we'll probably just start off with just tell us a little bit about yourself. Just how you got into comics, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, look, my name's Tim Stiles. I write under the name Big Tim Stiles. I've basically been a comic book nerd like most of us since my teenage years. Mostly a Marvel zombie, and then I sort of moved into sort of Dark Horse comics as far as the stuff that I like to read. I'm still a bit of a Marvel zombie at heart, so I'm still got a number of Marvel books on my weekly pull list.
Nice.
As far as getting into creating comics, I actually reviewed comic books for about 4 years for a website that doesn't exist anymore called Giant Fire Breathing Robot. And basically when that it was a great website. It covered all sorts of geek stuff, whether it was comics, movies, video games, role-playing games, across the board. Every
nice.
If you're a geek of any kind, it had you covered, sort of thing, you know. And look, then when that sort of website went under, when the owner of the website just decided to call it a day, I started to think, after reviewing so many comics, 3 or 4 comics a week for 4 years, that I would try my hand at writing my own comics, and that was about 5 years ago. And since then, I've just been doing my own thing,
Sweet. Sounds awesome. So what we'll do is go into the Kickstarter. Just make sure that you get your time to talk about it. So I'll just bring it up while you oops, that's the wrong button. You have to excuse me. I'm still learning all these buttons. So actually I'll bring it up full screen. Yep. So just tell us a bit about the Kickstarter, and then we'll scroll through it and pull it apart, I guess.
Yeah, cool. So this is my latest Kickstarter, Gorilla My Dreams, The Sheep from the Ghost. Now, what it is, Gorilla My Dreams is a series of comics, a series of one-shots that focus on a superhero named Knockaround Guy, who is basically a talking gorilla. He doesn't have any powers, but because he is just a gorilla that talks, people think he's a really smart detective. So he tries to live up to the expectations that everyone places on him, even though he's not really that smart, and he sort of screws up more often than not. Now, this is the third chapter. This is the third chapter of the book. Now, each issue is written in the form of a one-shot, so that if you can't get your hands on all the issues, any one of them should be a really satisfying experience to read by itself. Whereas if you can get all the issues, it serves an overall story that you can see the links between the one shots and the development of the characters.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so you can jump on board anyway, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. This is just as good a jumping on point as the first issue we released. In this issue, Knockaround Guy has woken up from a bit of a coma. He's found himself in a nunnery called the Convent of the Perpetual Youths, which is full of nuns that are sheep people. And he's basically... The story behind this is about a superhero who's trying to retire, but against his own wishes, he sort of gets dragged back into the adventuring life, and he has to make that rough decision of, does he just do what he wants to do as far as retiring is concerned, or does he serve the greater good?
Oh, awesome!
Oh, okay.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
it's basically come from a lot of people who know me recognize that Knockaround Guy, this guerrilla superhero, is practically me. Now, this issue really comes from a part of my life where I've had to make tough decisions as to what path I take, creatively. Personally, in my social life, in my extracurricular activities. So it's from having to make some really tough decisions in my real life that sort of helped me channel this story into Gorilla My Dreams.
wow, that's really awesome. So nice personal story.
Well, yeah, and yeah.
Cool. So what we'll do is we'll just go through the Kickstarter itself. So looks like you've unlocked a stretch goal here. I'll just go full screen again.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've unlocked 3 stretch goals.
Oh, 3. Awesome.
Yeah, my philosophy with stretch goals, and it's just my philosophy, it's not putting down anyone else's, is I just want all my stretch goals to make this book bigger and better. So the 3 stretch goals that we've unlocked is more bonus story content for the comic.
That's awesome.
We have one artist, Samir, who has done a 2-page, prologue for the story. Then we have Lauren Marshall, who you'll know is working on Your Calendar Kickstarter.
Yeah,
she's provided a 2-page epilogue for the end of the story. And then
nice.
An artist I found from Barcelona has done two pages for sort of intermissions throughout the story that focus on our villain, Lucifer Bimbom, and what he's doing while Knockaround Guy is trying to sort his life out. So far we've unlocked 6 pages of more story for the book. Our next stretch goal we want to unlock is a pin-up again by Lauren Marshall. And the more we unlock, the more page count we're going to get, the better, just the bigger and better this comic's going to get.
That's really cool. I like that as a philosophy.
I mean, it sounds like it adds something into the original story without taking away anything from it, Yeah,
and that's the thing. The story is written so that, for example, if we didn't break any stretch goals, you're not missing chunks of the story or anything, but I've purposely written these, the prologue, the epilogue, and these 2 intermission scenes, just to add another level to the story.
That's really cool. I like that. And I've supported it. So everyone else out there, go support it, go pledge, because this is awesome. That means I'll be getting all these extras. Great.
Yeah, man.
Stuff.
Both digital and print copies will have all the extra pages.
Awesome. Well, I got a print. I'm a bit OCD about print copies. So
yeah. So then what we've got here are basically the 3 covers that we're offering. The red one there is by Sammy Cavella, who people may know from a bunch of Ryan K. Lindsay's books. I'm a big fan of Sammy Cavella. Currently, he's working on a comic book called Done by Blood, which is a sort of a Western revenge comic. He's on Ryan K. Lindsay's next comic called Everfrost. Everything he has done, he's one of these creators that I've just adore everything he's done. So that's the red cover with the gorilla and the mime on the front.
Yep.
The next cover is the limited edition Kickstarter cover, the green one, which is by Ahmed Rafet. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a movie out of New Zealand called Housebound. Are you guys familiar with that movie at all?
I'm not actually, personally.
No, unfortunately not.
No, see that movie was a big inspiration when I was writing the ghost story side of this comic book. And so I got Ahmed to do a tribute cover of the movie poster. And that frame there with the 4 characters in it, it's practically straight out of this movie. So that's our movie homage cover. And then, of course, we're offering blank covers for artists who might want to draw on their own covers, or there's pledge levels where I will draw something on the cover for you if you like.
Oh, nice. Bonus.
So that's the 3 covers we're offering.
And that's the comic that you just went through, so we don't need to really look at that.
Yeah, that's just explaining everything I've said. So, see these pages here. This is, as I said, the process of Knockaround Guy waking up from this coma and seeing these sheep people praying for him, and he doesn't even know what's happening or where he's at. The artwork is beautifully done by Ahmed Rafet, my I would call him my co-conspirator. Actually, he's even the co-creator of this comic. He brings so much to this comic, more than just being an artist for hire. Like, he brings lots of ideas to it as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, me and him are co-creators of this book. And as you can see, his artwork is very, detective noir, black and white. It's really beautiful and really suits the tone of the story.
Yeah, it does.
So then, that's still just Knockaround Guy waking up and actually having an anxiety attack, a panic attack, because he can't understand what's happening around him. Now, the thing with Knockaround Guy, again, is because he's semi-based on me, I suffer from depression and anxiety and all sorts of that nasty stuff, So when you see, Knockaround Guy having an anxiety attack and he can't breathe, that's pretty much pulled straight from my life. You know what I mean?
Bugger.
And I mean, look, right now, I'm in one of the best places I've been in for years as far as my mental health is concerned. But awesome. there's always the experience there. You've always got it. It's something
you remember.
Yeah,
of course. And what do we got here?
Okay, that's just some pull quotes, some people who have read the previous issues, and
nice,
really nice things they had to say.
And these are the places seen.
Yep. So okay,
now here's the pledge levels. Yeah,
pledge levels, excellent. So the base pledge level is the $5 PDF. As I said, all the stretch goals that make this book bigger and better will be included in the PDF as well. So that's basically your bottom tier level there.
Yep, great for people overseas as well who don't want to pay shipping. So
yeah, definitely. But also the thing is, I've actually got I've got Ahmed in the UK who's going to be doing fulfillment over there to keep prices in the UK fairly low, and I've also got Comic Impressions in the States who will be doing the fulfillment in the States.
That's awesome. So, physical copies for all.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. And then once it gets out of sort of UK and the US and Australia, that's when it starts getting expensive. But there's a few good digital pledge levels in there for people who are outside of the States and the UK.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So this next one's an audio commentary. I do a podcast called the Turtle Boy Podcast, and basically what we do is for the audio commentaries, me and my friend Luke, we sit down with a copy of the comic each, and we just go through it and discuss, me writing the comic, me receiving the art from Ahmed or whoever the guest artists are. Just basically start to finish, we work our way through. The last one was about an hour and 15 minutes. The one before that was a jumbo 2-hour discussion we did. The audio commentaries a good pledge level that so you can go through your PDF and have a listen to us and really get inside my head as to the whole process of it all.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I'll just... Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So next up, we've got the print editions. Now, what that gets you is the PDF, which is available in every single pledge level. But this one gets you a copy of the regular cover and the limited edition cover. So you've got you can either have one copy to bag and board and one copy to read and throw around, or one copy for you, one copy for your mate, or whatever you want to do with it. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
I found that most people, want the 2 copies. They want to bag one and read the other. So yeah,
I believe that's the one I got.
Yeah,
just for the record.
And then I've been asked by some retailers to put together retail packs. So this one is just the first retail pack, which is basically just 3 copies of the regular cover, 1 copy of the limited edition cover for $20 for a store, so they can because that's basically half the ticket price per issue, so that they can make a little bit of money off it as well.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Now this one's another digital bundle. I called the King Kong digital bundle. Now what this one is you get the PDF, you get the audio commentary, but then you actually also get the entire back catalog in PDF, the entire back catalog's audio commentaries, and the back catalog's script PDFs. So if you're a real process junkie and you love looking at from script to finished book, this is the pledge level for you. You get all 4 issues, audio commentaries, scripts, and in a digital package with not having to ship anywhere.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like all these extras. These are very cool extras.
Yeah, look, I try to come up with some original pledges, but also make it easy on my end. So a lot of the bonus stuff is all digital. So I've already got most of it on the computer just to be able to send with a Dropbox link or an email, and that's also part of the reason behind the stretch goals just going into the book to make it bigger and better, is that I don't have to chase around mini prints or badges or bookmarks or all that sort of stuff. I just the books come to me, the books go out, sort of thing.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one's the print editions and the blank cover. So you basically get all 3 all 3 copies of the book. I know some people have got it so they can draw on it themselves, or take it to a convention and get someone else to draw on them. I usually get my first two issues. I got Dan Watts to draw my gorilla guy on the first issue, and cool. I got now I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name, Carmelo from Sydney. He did the cover for Australia Burns. He does a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff. I can never pronounce his last name. My apologies, Carmelo. But I got him to draw on the second cover for me as well.
I actually know who you're talking about, and I can't pronounce the name either.
Yeah, so. It's a tough name. Greatest guy, sweetest dude in Australian comics. But I can never spell his name. I can never pronounce his name. Now this pledge level has actually been fairly popular in previous Kickstarters and this one. So I call it the artist pack. So you get the 2 issues, one to read, one to bag and board, and then you get 3 blank copies. Now that's for artists. They can draw their own thing on them and resell them at conventions as one of a kind collector's items sort of thing. So there are a few artists that I know that grab this one and do cool. Up various covers for people and things. So yeah.
Cool, and there's another retail pack. Oh, this one's pretty full on.
So this retail pack basically has the back issues as well.
Yes.
3 copies of everything that they get. So yeah.
Nice.
Now this is the pledge level that I hand draw a one-of-a-kind drawing on the blank cover for you. I've got a couple of hardcore super backers who every Kickstarter I do, they grab this because they're the super collectors. They want this one-of-a-kind comic book, this one-of-a-kind collector's item that they can show off and say, I asked him to draw this on here, or you know what I mean? And you'll never see anything else. You'll never see this anywhere else. It's a one-of-a-kind thing, for the super collectors.
Nice. Cool.
Okay.
A lot.
So this one's the job lot. It's basically all the digital pledge levels and the comic pledge levels all bundled up into one package for $100. As I said, all the previous audio commentaries and comics in digital form with the scripts, and then the 3 comics, and again with me doing a one-of-a-kind hand drawing on the cover for you.
Very cool.
And then, so this next one,
nice, a backpack.
Got a backpack in it that has Sammy Cavella's artwork all over it. It's beautiful backpack. So yeah, basically the previous pledge level plus the backpack to carry everything around in. What else could you ask for?
What else could you need?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. Oh, and we got a cover commission.
Yeah, okay. So this one is again, you get the backpack, you get the books, you get all the digital loot, and Ahmed will do a cover commission for your comic, whatever your comic may be. I put in the explanations there that we sort of don't want to do pornographic stuff, but having said that, Ahmed does a web comic called Astro Nudes, so he's not afraid to be tackled with something a little bit racy. So if you've got a comic book and you love Ahmed's work, here's an opportunity. There's only one available, so here's your opportunity to snag that and get Ahmed to do, whether you use it as a limited edition variant, whether you use it as the regular cover for your book. That's ready to roll.
Yeah, nice.
And then this is the final one. So this is the creators package where, again, you get everything previously mentioned, the bag, the comics, all the digital loot. You get a cover commission by Ahmed, and you also get a 4-page full finished story by me and Ahmed based on your comic, based on your idea. So, if you're looking for... Yeah, if you're looking for a backup, a backup feature for your comic book, you want to add some more pages to it. Me and Ahmed will, based on your character, based on your story, write a 4-page story, get it all drawn up for you, cover for your book as well. Simple as that. And then all the loot, all the loot from the Kickstarter as well. So
I love that writing, doing a story for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, in previous Kickstarters, I've had people come in to write and backup stories for stretch goals, like I have with this one. So
yep.
If anyone out there is planning a Kickstarter, even if it's a year away, you hit us up. You could use our 4-page story as a stretch goal or whatever, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, now. I'll give you a bit of my philosophy behind that. Is my very first comic was a comic called Cthulhu Williams, and it was very sort of Hellboy, what's his name, Constantine, Hellblazer type inspired.
Yeah.
And the way I funded that comic, the way I funded the art, was I actually backed Kickstarters who had art pledges like this, where they will draw your story. So that Cthulhu Williams comic, it has 3 short stories in it, and all 3 of those stories came from me backing someone else's comic on a art level, so they would illustrate it for me. So I've always had the philosophy that Kickstarter is great for funding your books, but it's also great for you're supporting someone else's project, and at the same time, you're backing for an art reward to make your dream come true. So you're helping them with their dream and helping yourself with your dream too. So I wanted to offer that sort of opportunity for up and comers who might be, writing scripts and just be like, how am I ever going to afford an artist? Well, look, here's one way you can do that.
That is awesome. Yeah, and that's a really cool backstory to the Williams one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So that's probably the Kickstarter, I think, unless there's something else you wanted me to... Yep. Cool.
No, not really.
Okay, cool. Jerome.
Hey. Okay, so before we we free up Tim, we have a few questions out here. Actually, we've been itching to ask Tim a few questions because we've been reading Gorilla My Dreams for a while now. So
cool.
A few questions for Tim.
Yep. Shoot, man, I'm ready.
Yeah, for starters, okay, let's start this with what inspired you to make Gorilla My Dreams? Because it's not every day that you see a gorilla superhero. So what started it all, man?
Look, this answer is sort of a two-pronged answer. I don't know if you guys were familiar with the online video game called City of Heroes. Did you guys ever play that?
Yeah. I didn't get to play it myself, Yeah.
Because I used to be addicted to that game, man. And I'd work 8 or 10 hours at work, and then I'd come home and I'd play that stupid game for 10 or 12 hours, and then sleep for 3 hours and do it all again. But there was a character who basically, the gorilla you see on the screen right now, that's pretty much what this character looked like that I made. Of course, he didn't have any character behind him. He was just me running around punching heroes and villains. But that's pretty much what he looked like.
Cool.
And so he wasn't really much of a character as far as a storytelling piece at this point in time. Now, I've got a bit of a history with screenwriting, and I was at this screenwriting workshop where the guy really challenged us, and he says, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write down 30 story ideas. So, you can't even stop to think about it. You just like bang, 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 bang. And so... yeah, I did that as he told us to. And then he said, okay, now go through your list. I want you to pull out 3 ideas and sort of see if you can mash them together to come up with something truly unique. So I had, obviously, gorilla superhero. Another idea I had was the Great Clown and Mime War. And then the third idea I had was a mime suffocating inside an invisible box. So I took those 3 ideas and came up with this story about this gorilla superhero in the middle of some big gang war. Of course, the story has changed a bit since then, but that was where the actual idea of Gorilla My Dreams as a comic book came from, just from that exercise that this lecturer got us to do. So that's where Knockaround Guy and Gorilla My Dreams comes from.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool because it's rare that you get those eureka moments and then pen them down.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you always plan for Gorilla My Dreams to be noir? Because it's you always see those noir comic books, especially from indies, but they always use that. It was noir for the sake of noir, but yours was entirely different. So what made you decide that to make it noir?
Well, again, man, it was a lightning in the bottle moment where at the same time I was trying to develop this story, I came across 3 pieces of, I'll say, art that made me realize that detective noir doesn't have to be a 1920s movie with Humphrey Bogart in it, So I came across, remember that Disney movie Zootopia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched that. About a week later, I read the script for a movie called Brick, which is kind of a detective noir story in a high school. And then around about that same time, I read Ryan K. Lindsay's Chum, which is a murder mystery on a tropical island with sharks and things. The penny dropped with me that like detective noir can be any environment. So I love superheroes, so I can take this superhero story and make it detective noir. It doesn't just have to be a punch 'em up superhero story, the kind that I love so very much, but I can make something fresh and original by having stumbled across these 3 pieces of art that really made me understand that noir can be in any setting, in any time, with any characters. So that's where that came from, and that's why we've on purposely left the art black and white as well, with grey tones to help serve that noir outlook.
Yeah, that's cool actually, because the element of Gorilla My Dreams that I always loved was the noir art style. I'm a sucker for noir, so
I'm glad you dig it, man. I'm glad you dig it.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the last one for me now is what's this? what was your inspiration behind your villains? You know, you had a lot of mimes and clowns and these things. And I mean, we've seen Joker is a clown, but your clown is an entirely different one, man. So how did that come
Yeah.
true?
Look, yeah, I've always loved killer clowns, whether they be, the movie It, or whether they be the Joker, or I love scary clowns. I always have. And when I wanted to use Lucifer Bimbom as the main villain of the piece, I knew I had to make him something completely different from the Joker, because everyone straight away is going to go, oh, another Joker. So I went out of my way to make sure that he wasn't insane like the Joker, that he was more of a mean, vicious person than an insane person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And even though I've always loved themed henchmen in comics, I think that's what I loved about the 1966 Batman. Every villain had their themed henchmen. And so that's something I'm obsessed with. I love the idea. I love Batman's villains more than Batman himself, because of all this sort of themed villains sort of thing. And so that's what had me, okay, we've got a clown villain, but then he's got his clown henchmen and things as well. So yeah, that's the development of that guy, Lucifer Bimbom, our villain anyway.
Yeah, and I actually just recently saw the Lucifer Bimbom story. It was and it was really good, because without revealing anything, it's basic. It reminds me, as I've said in one of my reviews, it reminds me of The Killing Joke, but
right.
But it's not that. It has the same feel, but it's an entirely different story, and it's so, because you'll see some comics that they will feel like rip-offs, but yours was really fascinating, if anything,
Oh, thank you for that. I really wanted to, with that book. Again, the object was to really differentiate Lucifer Bimbom from the Joker, and really show why he does what he does. Again, that issue was a bit taken from my life as well, in that there's certain ways you don't want to necessarily go with your life, but then you find yourself stuck in a job or a relationship or some other circumstances where everything actually seems out of your control, and you end up almost becoming someone you've never wanted to be. So Lucifer Bimbom, at the start of that comic, he's not interested in what do you call it? A life of crime, especially a life of costumed crime.
Yeah.
But then, there's certain influences from outside his control that just almost push him down that way, until he has no choice but to become this villain that he didn't originally want to be.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool. I'm going to have to be rude here.
Yep.
It's been great chatting with you, Tim. We're cutting into the next guest time.
Oh, yep, for sure, man.
Yep, that's cool. But just before you go, just tell us one thing you want to say about the Kickstarter.
Look, guys, this Kickstarter, as I said, this comic book is getting bigger and better, with each stretch goal that we unlock. It's about a talking gorilla with who's clinically depressed, trying to retire, but being forced back into the spotlight, back into the action. And if you're looking for something a bit different, if you're tired of the usual superhero punch 'em ups and you want something a little bit more cerebral, check this out, man. If you're looking for just a fun gorilla comic, check it out.
Yeah, definitely agree. It's an awesome comic, and I'm sure this one is as well. Yeah.
Thanks heaps, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
See
Tim.
you guys.
See ya.
Tim Stiles, everyone.
Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, I've read the other Gorilla in My Dreams, and they're all awesome. So I'm sure this one's just as cool.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure. So without any further ado, let's bring on Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Well, thanks yourself.
Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Good.
Awesome. So, just tell us a little about yourself before we jump into the Kickstarter. Just about
Do I have to say anything?
not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yeah.
No, all good. So, I've been writing for about 5 years now. Went from doing sort of novella style writing into doing comics. Absolute fluke of that happening. I wasn't planning on it as like a big jump in my life. You know, I was only writing novels for fun. And it came about basically from doing cosplaying. So we used to nationally compete. And
Wow.
when we sort of got out of that, we really didn't know what to do. And so my wife basically started looking for cosplay she wanted to do just for fun.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yep.
She just literally typed in the words red and black, and Batwoman came up. And she turned to me and she went, "She's lesbian. She's in the Bat family." You know, I just went, "You don't have to say anything else. I'm there. I'm reading this now." So we literally went to the comic book store. We bought all these comics and stuff like that, and we just sort of deep dived into it. But in the back of one of the comics was a piece of script, and she looked at it and she went, "You can do this. Like this is something you can do." And then I looked at it and I went, yes, that is something I can do.
Awesome.
So yeah, it kind of just took off from there. And 5 years later, here we are now with you know, a couple of Kickstarters, Fox and Hound, and a couple of other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been where I've wanted to go. Like the more I do it, the more I sit there and go, okay, no, this is it. I'm done. So yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well, we'll jump into the Kickstarter. I will just bring it up. I'm getting better at these buttons now.
Cool.
So is there anything you want to say about the Kickstarter before we like scroll through it, or
Oh my God.
it looks like you're going quite well, 175. Nice.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But the Kickstarter, this is for issue 4, so we've already had the last couple already done.
Yep.
Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with the rewards. I think it's something that the normal Fox and Hound people expect, but there's also new content, new stuff, and I'm really excited to have the artist Chris Pitcairn, who's doing all of the art now for it, really step up and add his own flavor to it, which is just incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, he's an awesome artist. So yeah.
So there's the warning sign.
Nice warning sign.
Nice big warning sign for all of you people. This is not safe for children. So.
Oh, I'm in the wrong box. I'm trying to scroll and it wasn't going anywhere.
That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. So, like I said, it's for issue number 4. It's the first series, or the first arc is 6 issues in total. So we're up to number 4 in this little first part of the story. That will then get turned into a big trade at the end, but we wanted to go with the sort of traditional little issues to begin with.
Yep.
So,
so there's some interior.
Yeah, some of the interiors up there. Chris actually does pretty much 90% of the work on this, and I love him for it. He does all the lettering. He does the colors. He does the layouts. He does the inks. He's just an absolute master at everything. So, yeah, that's all of his wonderful work. Basically, what I do is I just hand in the script, put the little things where I want them to go, and just go have at it, have fun. So,
nice. He does a great job.
Our working
That's
relationship
awesome.
has skyrocketed since we started working together. It's like 2 peas in a pod. It's crazy.
That's awesome. So, all right, there's you guys. And okay, here we go. If you want to go through the tiers to explain to everyone what they should be pledging for.
Sure. So, first one is obviously just your normal standard PDF of the comic. Nice and easy, nice and handy. Just download it straight to your computer or your phone or wherever you want, and you can read it straight away.
Yep.
The next one's obviously the actual physical copy of the book. So what happens when we get them printed, we ship them out. We had a problem with shipping on the last one. So our shipping has gotten a lot better since the last campaign. So they'll be nice and protected in cardboard and, yeah, pretty much ship them anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you're from across the world. The next one is the PDF version and the physical version.
Nice.
A lot of people, I noticed, really, really like the PDF. So we're happy to give that with the actual physical copy. For $15, you pretty much get I think that's the PDFs of everything. Yeah, PDFs of all the issues. If you haven't read the Fox and Hound story up until now, you can get it straight away, download it, read it. It's there.
Haven't read it yet. Who are these people?
Who are these people?
How could they not have read it already?
So the next one is Chris's print for the campaign. Really, really happy with this. It's just an awesome little mob scene. He was doodling this mob scene quite a while ago, and he hadn't finished it or anything. And he goes, I don't know, I just got this idea. And then I said, run with it, because I thought it was such an awesome idea. And yeah, we got that out of it. And I was just like, oh, that's better than I expected. Oh God. So yeah, so you get his little print with this. We print them all in A4 size, so it's just a nice little bonus, and they look really nice when they come out. People have sent me their photos of when they get them as well, so you'll get his print and the book.
Awesome. Hang on, I'll just bit of a technical issue there.
So this is our second print that's on offer. So Mike Wolfer is an absolute amazing artist. He's got his own books and series and stuff like that on Kickstarter at the moment too, but he has offered to do an artwork, and I'm actually talking with him at the moment over this one, of the girls in front of like a fireplace, sort of romantic looking image, and I cannot wait till it comes out. It's going to be phenomenal. If any of you have not seen any of his work, go and look him up on Facebook straight away, and then you will understand how amazing he is. So yeah, we're very lucky for him to be doing a print for this. Yep. Next here, obviously, you get the 2 prints and the little funky stickers with the book.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The stickers are all die cut. They're really cute. So for this one, you can have all the physical copies. So again, if you haven't got any of the other copies before and you're a new fan, this is a really good pack. And then you get to choose which print you want at the end of the day.
That's pretty cool.
That's good.
Oh, not safe for work. Here we go.
God, no. So this one, you get the Not Safe for Work cover done by David Fraud, and you get the PDF version with the same cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scrolling the wrong one again.
As you can see here, we've done naughty covers before. So in this one, you can collect sort of all of them in the naughty. Again, for people who don't know anything about the Fox and Hound world, they just get everything. And if they wanted a naughty, they can have it in naughty. And then you get the standard prints.
Yep, cool.
So this one, you get the physical copy of Fox and Hound, plus your prints, plus the Sexy Pillow Fight print, which is always fun.
Always fun, yes.
Yeah, so we've got Chris's prints in there. He's done like a Playboy print that's for the naughty side of things.
Yeah.
Now you get to sort of choose what you want in these higher tiers, so you really can customize what you want. There's a bunch of add-ons as well, by the way. So
awesome.
Oh yeah, there's a heap of add-ons. So you pretty much whatever you want, you can add on to this. Physical copies of the ones, physical copies of Fox and Hound, issue 1 to 4 again, and then you get your choice of any prints that you want, plus this 3D printed comic stand. These look freaking awesome. They look amazing when they're printed. You can actually stand the comic on them, or just leave them with the words Fox and Hound.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love 3D printing stuff, so I was really happy to do that. Yes, we've added a G-string. I know
I hadn't looked this far down before.
It's just like, yes, this isn't for children at all. So yeah, after that one, you've got the shot glasses. So these are actually in the comic, and they're sort of etched into the glass. So only
that's really cool.
Those left. So yeah, they're a real rare item. Then you've got Chris's actual sketches of the characters. So he'll basically, you pick which character you want, he'll do you up like a little sort of like drawing from pencils to inks to the actual full colors, which is really cool. Yeah, so it's like a little custom image for you. 300, you actually get to design an image with the characters. So last Kickstarter we had like the cameo spot, but in this one, I think this is going to be a better sort of construction for people who want a bit more. You know, they want to interact with the characters and they want, you know, to play out a little scene or something like that. They'll actually get to choose what they want. So Chris is super excited to do that as well.
Yep. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I
And
wasn't
then
paying attention.
The last one's already gone.
Last one's already gone. It's already gone.
Yeah, this one's already gone. So yeah, it was basically you get the pencils of Mike's artwork when it's finished.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, so
these are just the stickers and
Yep. We've just got some close-ups of the rewards there, so the little stickers and what they look like, the standee, what it looks like.
Nice.
Pretty easy. Shot glasses, you know, just so people see what they're actually getting in the actual years as well, which is always fun. That's what the book looks like when it's actually printed.
Well, I've actually got some pictures here that you sent over. Is there anything else? Sorry, interrupting there. Is there anything else about the Kickstarter you want to go through, or should I keep scrolling? Or
no, we've just got the stretch goals to open now, so you know, hoping to get people a couple of more freebies on the end of it.
Stretch goals. Here we go. So you've done unlocked 2 already. Awesome. 2
already done. 3 to go. We've got a print by Axel. The artwork is just beautiful. Then we've got like a little phone wallet that'll have the Fox and Hound logo, kind of the same as the shot glass on it. Mm-hmm. And then the last print from David that will also be unlocked if people go to 11 grand. So yeah, there's heaps of free stuff to unlock, and we're happy to hopefully get it unlocked by the end of this. So we've still got 13 days to go. So it's not like it's ending tomorrow.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay, I'm getting lost now. Too many things on the screen at once. So
no, you're all good. It was a bit sketchy there for a second, but you're all good.
So that's the Kickstarter picture. Nice. Yep. Issue 4.
Yep. Issue 4. We can't believe we've actually made it to issue 4, honestly. Like, wow.
I'm glad you have. I've enjoyed the other 3. So
both Chris and I really love the girls, so it's really awesome.
Yeah, they're very funny. if nothing else, they're very funny.
Oh, God, they're funny. Funny in a interesting way.
Oh yeah, we went through these pictures in the Kickstarter, so I won't.
Yeah, so these
go
are
through those again.
From the actual panels in the book, and you can see that Chris has been working on those as well, which is really nice. I wanted that uniformity with the bubbles because he did the bubbles on issue 3. And I really like the little nuances he put on the bubbles. So I said, let's just continue that in issue 4, give it some similarity through the issues. So.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll pass you over to Jerome. He's got a few questions for you. He's our question man for the night.
Yep. Okay. Before anything else, Nicole, big fan actually.
Oh, really?
Both are.
I just discovered. I just discovered your work from the last time, and I've been binging like crazy about all your work. You know, so okay, we'll put my other opinions on your other works for another time, but. I will focus on Fox and Hound. And first question, what inspired you to make Fox and Hound? Again, much like how I asked Tim, it's not every day that you make 2 foxy ladies, a story about 2 foxy ladies, you know.
Oh God, there was a lot with Fox and Hound. It kind of was a mesh of a couple of things, but the big cincher was when my wife was in the shower and had this sort of half a script. So it wasn't really a full script, but it was like bits and pieces, and we sort of were hashing it at the time. And I said, I don't want to dump it because I think it's too good. I don't want to dump this work yet. And she's like, well, why don't you repurpose it? Why don't you do something else with it? And then Fox and Hound just came out of absolutely nowhere. And it was such a lightning bolt moment where they just completely started running off the paper. And then I sort of tweaked the original script and went, okay, I can fit this in here, I can fit this in here. And then we decided to make them mercenaries so they weren't just, completely just superhero sort of stuff. They're a little bit different. And I've sort of moved away from the superhero stuff with them. I think it makes them a little bit more interesting as their characters. And then it opens up the door for a second arc, third arc. Chris and I have been talking about that. So definitely it was a good move. But yeah, it came out of a really dodgy conversation in the bathroom. And then to a lot of the Bayonetta soundtrack. That's pretty much where it came from.
Yeah. So if that's the case, what's your process of making Fox and Hound? Because every artist has their own way of doing things. So put us on a small tour about how you work out a specific issue.
Fox and Hound is like, the only way I can describe it when I write Fox and Hound is like shifting your car gear from 1 to 5. And it's such a huge change and chop between these stories, and especially going to Fox and Hound, where the ladies have to be really quick-witted, they're funny, the gags, are sometimes a little bit hidden in there, and you got to read it again and go, oh, wait, that's what they were meaning there, sort of thing. So usually when I'm writing Fox and Hound, I talk with Chris quite a lot beforehand. I will talk with my wife quite a lot beforehand as well. And then the first thing I do when I start writing is hit the Bayonetta soundtrack. It is like a cue in my head that I'm in that headspace. You know what I mean? So when I'm writing other works, I tend to have my playlists that I listen to that will put me in that headspace. And immediately I think of that sassiness, that, there's little bit of adult jokes that come from Bayonetta and that genre. And I kind of go, okay, you know what? I need the girls to be sassy. And then I just start looking up like really, not dirty jokes, but I'm going to say dirty jokes, And that's sometimes even just an entire scene will come from one line. And I'll be like, oh, that was a great line, but where would I use that? Like, where would she say that? And then I start building an entire scene around them, and then it just kind of cascades from there. God, I'm a writer and I can't even speak. So, but yeah, the girls I find are probably the easiest for me to write. I don't know what happens, but when I sit down and I start working on them, it's like they know what they're going to say and they already start coming out of my head. Whereas some other pieces, I sometimes struggle on the dialogue or something like that. But these girls, they just flow. They just keep going and keep going and keep going. And it's basically like, Chris and I will say one thing or to another and we'll tweak it a little bit. But generally, I'll go through 2 to 3 drafts, whereas some other works I can go to 10 or 11 drafts. So yeah, the girls are definitely here to stay, and they're 100% one of my favorite things to write. If I'm having a bad day, I'll start working on them.
Nice.
That's really good. So, how long does it take to make one comic book? Which process takes time? Because I don't think these things come out just from a few days of work. So.
No. To do anything from 22 to 24 pages completely finished, for me to write a script, I can go anywhere between 8 hours to a week. It depends. Fox and Hound, again, like usually I'll sit down, I'll write the first draft really, really quickly. Then I'll use the rest of the week to go through the other drafts and sort of pinpoint it and make it better. But the hard part is getting sort of Chris to do everything. When you've got an entire team, once one person's finished, a pencil page, they'll pass it straight away onto the inker, and they'll pass it straight away onto the colorist. But when you're doing it all by yourself, you have to do all of that work by yourself. So
Wow.
Chris, and I love him to death for this, he does take on quite a brunt. It'll take him about 2 months to 2.5 months to finish it.
That makes sense.
If I don't make any changes, which I do. I'll say something, I'm like, wait, that doesn't match up. We need to change it like now. And he's just like, oh. It's happened. It's happened. We've been there. So, yeah. And then what he'll do is he'll give me all the pages once he's done the lettering and everything like that. The lettering is probably the quickest part because all he has to do is just copy and paste my script. So it's not as bad. But once he gives that back to me, it'll take me about 3 days to format the entire comic, get it ready for printing, go to the printer, and then it usually gets printed within a week. So all in all, you're looking at about 3 months to do 22 pages. And that's if we don't dawdle or get distracted by a million things, which we do.
Yeah, that's arduous work. I mean, well, anyway, here's a question I've always been meaning to ask. People who write your style. I mean, let's admit it. It's there are parts of the story that's not for kids. So,
oh God, no.
Yeah, and
I love it. So with the normal covers, I went to a convention and we had it on the table, and this little kid came and picked it up, and I was just like, no, immediately, no, that's not for you. That's not for you. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty colors and everything, but no.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people have different opinions on it, and they have they always some people do it a different way, and at least from my opinion, you do it really nicely. You do it really artistically. So I mean, what's your opinion on these kinds of work for comic books, and how do you balance it? How do you make it sensual and not weird?
Not weird. It is hard to do it. My problem is that I actually am the reverse. I like writing sort of stuff with adult themes, and when somebody asks me to do a young adult one, I kind of look at them blankly and go, "Wait, you don't want nudity in there? That's weird." So I'm kind of the reverse. Yeah. But it is difficult, and I think some people do take it too far in their works. I think some people do just do sex for the sake of putting sex in a comic book. Yep. So that's why I tried to make it a little bit more clever, a little bit more funny, have those typical gags in there that everybody knows. Like I think it's the first issue when Fox runs out of the bathroom and she doesn't have a towel on, there's a bonsai over her, downstairs area. So it is that typical joke that everybody, they know what's there, but she's still half naked. So we really do try to make it interesting and a little bit more adult in its humor, you know.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the nudity scenes, but that's what happens in life, These people are in these stressful situations. Of course they're going to shag. Look at every spy movie in the world. like 1 million girls in 5 minutes. So yeah, it's that sort of realism as well, I guess, that you expect when you watch an action movie or a spy movie or something like that are still
Makes
brought
sense.
to the comic. And I like writing adult stuff, but it's just easier, I guess, for me to write it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I try to do it in a clever way. I really hope people like that.
You do it well.
I hope so.
Superbly good. So, okay. of course, you already said that you guys edit your work again and again, but there are stories where there are comic books where they decide on something different. So, do you have any like stories when or panels that interesting panels or stories that you left when you were cutting off the fat, basically from the comics, from the what you left on the cutting room floor? Any good stories that?
Well, when we got to issue 3, which is the one behind me,
Yeah.
I had to sort of rethink where the story was going, because I originally had this plan to incorporate another comic book with it, and unfortunately that completely fell apart. So I needed to go back and really think, okay, what are these girls doing? What do they need to be doing? What are the important parts? So I kind of just cherry picked what I needed and then filled the gaps with some new stuff that I thought was interesting. One of the funny things was I actually had a Russian translator translate all of the Russian for me in the issue.
Wow.
So
cool.
all the Russian that
Wow.
you see is like not formal Russian, it's more like slang Russian, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it's more casual, what people would say when they're in that situation.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so
Actually.
it gives it that little bit of grit to it. It's not like if you're 100%, if you're Russian and you're reading that, you're gonna go, okay, I see what you mean. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a
Chris,
nice touch.
I feel bad
it
for
gives,
Chris though.
it gives more
he had
life
to
to it,
research-
you know.
Yeah, it does. And Chris had to research so much Russian stuff because I started putting all these little things in the background. And he's just like, "What is that? What does this do?" And I'm like, "Sorry."
That's
But
cute.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, and the other thing that poor Chris has had to do is find outfits that look sexy but still cover them. So in issue
Yep.
3, there's a point where you see Fox's outfit, which is this snow kind of fur coat thing, and you see that she's literally got almost nothing underneath it, but the way he draws it just covers everything.
Mhm.
So he's like, "Oh my god, these outfits! I got to keep finding these weird outfits for them." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." It's like, semi-bondage outfits here. I'm like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I get to look up fashion. It's fine."
That's cool.
Yeah, so we love it because he'll randomly just send me a picture all of a sudden, like in the middle of the day or night or whatever, and he goes, "Oh my god, I can see Fox in this, or I can see Hound in this. This is amazing." And I'm like, "Yes, save that. We're putting that in the comic."
That's awesome.
Yeah, he searches through history. What will be interesting if that's anything, you know?
Yeah, and that's where half of the outfits have come from. We've just been scrolling through Pinterest or something, and then all of a sudden we'll see something and we're like, "Oh my god, that's them all over."
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and it looks like whenever from what I read from the story, I mean, Charlie and Lena have a really really good relationship. I mean, I have a hunch
Oh, they
who's
have a too close relationship.
yeah, and I have a hunch who the people who Charlie and Lena are based on, but I might as well ask you: are they based on people you know? Are they character inserts? You know?
No, they are completely themselves. I think I did kind of take what I love about some of the female spy sort of things. Again, Bayonetta, you can see that all running through Charlie. I think Lena is a little bit of like Atomic Blondie, but still with that gag factor from like what is it, Austin Powers a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So they've kind of come from a couple of influences from movies and other comics and stuff that I've read, but yeah, the girls just pop out of my head randomly and say the weirdest things. Don't even know where the heck it comes from half the time. So Actually, I blame my wife. She's sitting behind me laughing at the moment, but I blame her.
Awesome.
Yes, I'll ring her randomly if I can't get like a quote out or something. I'm like, what would she say in this moment? She just gives me like 10 really dirty things, and I'm like, oh, okay, all of it. So yeah,
Awesome.
they're not really based on anybody, but I have taken influences to create the girls. So
Cool. Well, we've hit the hour.
woohoo!
So thank you very much. Just give you a chance to say one last thing about your Kickstarter after this great little interview, I guess.
Well, you can go and back it, but be warned. Be warned. You might fall in love. Because,
That's awesome.
Well, thank
Nicole.
you very much for having me, guys. This is great fun.
Yeah, it has been great fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next show. I'll have to put that up
Definitely.
somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get you back here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. I'll let you go, and me and Jerome will go through the other Kickstarters. And thank you very much, Nicole. It was great having you on. It was a good laugh, just like your comics.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Good night.
See you
See
later.
ya.
See ya. That was good.
awesome. Yeah, that was awesome.
True.
This is fun. Episode 2. Hang on.
Let's
I
keep
gotta
doing
get
it.
got to get the banner up. Woo! Second episode.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep.
Cool. So what I'll do now is I think I accidentally closed that window. Yes, I did close it. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'll just bring up another one. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just have a look at the other Kickstarters. And I've just got to... Oh, I've taken you off the screen. I can't see anything now. Oh, and for those who were on Facebook, I believe it was the group Love Australian Comic Books. I believe about 10 or 20 minutes into the show, the connection got cut. Hopefully you all got the... I put a link to the... what do you call it? The... YouTube. So hopefully everyone who was in there who got cut off saw that YouTube link and hopped on over to YouTube to watch the rest of the show.
Yep.
So I will just... it's always fun watching me stumble around in the computer. Okay, there's our Kickstarter. So we'll quickly just see how quickly I can do this. Okay, so here's all the latest Kickstarters. We've just gone over Gorilla My Dreams, The Sheep, The Ghost, and Fox and the Hound 4. There is also our Kickstarter, the 18-month calendar with ComX, with 18 artists. That's in the link below, comx.link.
Yep.
There's also a few other Australian Kickstarters that are still going. We've got Darren Close's Killaroo, Semper Fidelis, I think that's pronounced.
Yep,
I'm not
Semper
sure.
Fidelis.
Yep, cool. Thank you, Jerome. And that's only got 62 hours left on it. So if you want to go across there, and it's your last chance to go get that comic, it looks awesome. It sort of looks like Predator meets Killaroo. So it looks pretty cool. We've got Inferno Girl Red. That's going gangbusters. That's like at 87,000. So wow. It's only 7 days left. So if you want to get a copy of that, I think I've pledged for that as well. And as well as Killaroo. I usually pledge for every Australian comic, to be honest. And there's a Mosey, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, Ben. Book 1, Epic Tale from Ancient Egypt Comes to Life. This looks pretty cool. And they've only got 35 hours left to go. So if you want to check that out, Now, to check out all the latest links, I will write this up here. I'll edit that. So if you just go to this link that I'm typing in now, live TVA, guys, it's fun, isn't it? So if you go there, that particular link will take you always take you. I've set this up to always take you to the latest Australian indie comic book Kickstarters. So I will also share that in the comments. Hopefully I didn't misspell anything. And that link actually works. Okay, so that's a good way. If you're ever curious what's going on in the Australian Kickstarter, that's a great link to go to just see what the latest stuff is. As you can see, it just so happens that Gorilla, My Dreams, and Fox and Hound are the two latest Kickstarters that we talked to tonight, are also the ones we talked to tonight. Just as a quick finish this off,
yeah,
I will simply do a quick little. Oh, where is it? Okay. Sorry, that just did something on my screen I wasn't expecting. So here's a quick look at our Kickstarter. I'll just go through this quickly so you can see what's going on with the 18 months. So here's all the art together of the 18 artists. Here's Brendan's nice little superhero saving a helicopter. We've got our Demon and Alien by Peter Wilson. Got Ben Sullivan's sort of like the X-Files for Australia, Bruno and Maggie. We've got Duncan Prenavicius. Hopefully I got that right, Duncan. With his cool little picture here from Bin Kitty. We've got Lee Chalker's picture here from Battle for Bustle. Kieran Jack's picture from the Talking Bread.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Wells has done an awesome picture here of Dark Nebula. This is Dave Dye's character. I believe her name is Lee. Lauren Marshall's character, Lana Luca. And this is an assortment of characters from Rod Spedsey, Lyle's, I guess we'll call it Spedsyverse. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. It's now called that, Rob, Spedsyverse. We've got Peter Lawson's picture here of Billabong from Torn. And, of course, Chris, was it Pitcan? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, Chris, if I got that wrong. And these are the lovely Fox and Hound. So we're just talking about them. We've got the, Tim McEwen's. I forget the name of the bull. Sorry, Tim. But it's from Greener Pastures?
Yep, it's from Greener Pastures.
Greener Pastures, yep. Sorry about that, Tim. And, of course, Bronwyn from Isaac George. I'm not actually familiar with the name of this character. Sorry, Chris, but this is from Chris Hunt. And this is a lovely scene by Tom Menzies from his new comic, I believe it's called Fallen. And Stuart Black, always a little funny joke thrown in there from his characters, the Four Horse Femmes.
Yep.
And this is Zach Elliott's. This is the December, the last month, and this is his his little comic called Jet X. I believe that guy there is Jet. And here's us saying pledge. So just go to that link, ComX, so COMX.link, and that'll take you to the Kickstarter where you can check out all the different tiers. We won't go through that now. Check out the ones you like. Check out the one that will suit you in your budget and what you're after, and pledge. That would be awesome. We've got a 2,300 stretch goal coming up. We'd love to hit that. That's extra bonus postcard for everyone with a physical pledge. That's awesome art by Ed Kearsley, and we've got the first 3 issues of the 4 Horse Femmes. I can't talk tonight apparently. As part of that stretch goal, everyone with a digital or a physical pledge will get that if we hit that stretch goal. We're only 100 and I think it's about 160 off. I can't remember, to be honest. So yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen. Thank you, everyone. I'll just check the comments, see if anyone's said anything towards the end there. No, we're all good. Thank you, everyone who joined us on our second show. We all had fun.
Yep.
I'm glad you did too, Jerome.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me.
well, thanks for coming along. It's always a pleasure. And I guess we'll see everyone for the night. Thank you very much for coming. And yeah, have a great night, everyone. And see you next Wednesday. Same ComX channel, same ComX time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
See you all next week.
See
you.
you.